For more, I want to bring in Pennsylvania Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle. Congressman, gas prices up, new tariffs up north. What do you make of this president touting his economic agenda today?
Well, I encourage the president to come to my state, heck, come to Philadelphia, my congressional district. I would love for him to talk about his complete failure to make life more affordable for ordinary Americans. I mean, it's pretty remarkable when you think about it. 2 years ago, he visited my state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, more than any other state in the country. And his biggest promise, the one that he repeated the most, was, and I quote, "I will lower prices on day one." Here we are a year and a half later. He has not lowered prices. In fact, prices have only gone up. Gas prices, which were $2.98 a gallon just 4 months ago, the day before he launched this incredibly stupid Iran war with no idea on how to get out of it. Now, as you showed, gas prices are over $4 a gallon and climbing. Food prices, shipping costs, et cetera, consumer goods higher thanks to his Trump tariff taxes. So this is a president who has taken a real challenge, the lack of affordability in this country, and has made it far worse.
Congressman, the House just passed a spending bill. It includes money for ICE, for Customs and Border Patrol. Not a penny, you say, for bringing down the cost of living. All the reporting says no input from Democrats on this bill. What would it have looked like if Democrats had their way?
Well, and literally, as soon as I'm done with you, I'm going to jog over to the House floor where I'm leading the debate on the Democratic side against the Republican so-called Reconciliation 3.0. That is 47 pages, over 6,500 words, not one word about affordability, not one word about how to bring costs down for the American people. Instead, it is almost $100 billion of new spending, most of which is for Trump's Iran war. So the reality is this is a president who has failed to bring down costs for the American people. It's a Republican majority that has failed to bring down costs. And frankly, the worst part is they're not even attempting to do that.
Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries expressed strong opposition to this in a closed-door caucus meeting ahead of the vote. His message, was it on substance, was it on politics, or was it on both?
I think it's very much both, because first, on the substance, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Trump's entire policies in their totality over the last 18 months, especially the tariff taxes combined with the Iran war, as well as some others, have only made life more unaffordable for the American people. But then in terms of the politics, Donald Trump right now has the lowest ratings in terms of management of the economy in 20 years. The last time a president was rated this lowly was George W. Bush in 2008 as the Great Recession was unfolding. And then when you ask the American people about inflation and their view of President Trump, it's the lowest rating since Jimmy Carter in the late 1970s. So this is an area in which, I like to say that good policy makes good politics. Well, the inverse is also true. The bad policies of this administration have also led to bad political outcomes for them. And now Democrats have to capitalize on it over the next few months.
My colleague Maya Eglin was in Louisiana talking with a bunch of young voters about affordability. I want you to take a listen to what they said, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
It's a difficult choice. With today's economy, just thinking of the cost of living with your mortgage or rent, the health insurance costs.
It's really hard to decipher between, the emotional aspect of wanting kids and the financial aspect and the reality of the resources that we have today.
Let's do one-word answers, rapid fire here. How would you describe today's economy?
Rough.
Volatile.
Hostile. Shaky.
Declining.
Embarrassing.
Here's the thing, Congressman. You and I both have children. We think about the cost of housing, the cost of childcare, all of these big systems and structures that require investments. What is a Trump account supposed to really do for the average American family?
Not much. I mean, especially because the absurdly named Trump account is basically a deferred retirement account for people who are born today. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but it does absolutely nothing to help people in the short term or, frankly, even over the next several decades. So the reality is, and I think those folks you just showed, those young people, were pretty crystal clear in expressing their frustration and their pessimism. They know, and expressed it perhaps better than I can, just how much things are going wrong right now in this country. And again, the fact that you have a president who just doesn't give a damn. Donald Trump only cares about two things: the grifts and the grudges. If it's not one of those two things, he is quite blunt that he doesn't actually think about the financial situation of the American people at all.